Rabbi Stern was celebrating his 50th birthday. Been happily married for some 25 years. And you know, even couples who have been married for that period of time, each one needs their own space. And Rabbi Stern had a shoebox that she never allowed Rabbi Stern to look at. Rabbi Stern said one day to his Rebbetzin, you know, celebrating my 50th birthday, I think it's time that you allowed me to look inside your shoebox. The Rebbetzin said, you can if you want, but I think you'll be sorry. He opens up the shoebox and there he sees 3 hard-boiled eggs and $2,000 coins. And he says to his wife, tell me, why the 3 hard-boiled eggs? She said, well, every time you give a sermon and I don't like the sermon, I put a hard-boiled egg in the shoebox. Rabbi Stern thinks for himself, he'd been a rabbi now for 18 years, 3 hard-boiled eggs, it's not bad. Then he says, tell me, why do you have $2,000 coins? She says, very simple. You see, every time I would collect 12 hard-boiled eggs, I would sell them for $1 coin. You know, one of the great challenges facing a rabbi when he is asked to deliver a thought, to deliver a message from the weekly portion, is the question of relevance. As soon as the people who are listening to the address feel that it no longer speaks to them, that it's no longer relevant, they will shut off completely. This week's portion, Parshat Shelach, speaks about the spies. We all know the story. Moses sends spies to check out the land of Israel and then come back with a negative report. It's important to know that story. But once we know the story, what relevance is there for this section in my life? Will it help pay my bills? Will it make me into a better human being? What I'd like to do now is I'd like to demonstrate how profound a message we can derive and learn from the story of the spies. Our rabbis tell us that a statement made by the spies is somewhat baffling. The spies return and they say to the Jewish people, and I quote, "We were in our eyes like grasshoppers, and we were in their eyes like grasshoppers." Let me repeat that one more time. They said that we were in our eyes like grasshoppers, and we were in their eyes like grasshoppers. The question is obvious, the question which is posed by the rabbis of the Talmudic era. How did they know what the enemies thought of them? And in fact, the rabbis tell us that God was extremely angry with the spies. He said, I can accept and appreciate that you felt that you were like a grasshopper. But how did you know what the enemies thought of you? Perhaps they thought of you as being angels, as being malachim. Let us now examine this statement by the spies as it's understood by our Chassidic masters. Our Chassidic masters say the following: oh yes, the spies really did know that their enemy looked at them as grasshoppers. Do you know how they knew that? Because they themselves viewed themselves as being grasshoppers. If a person considers himself to be a grasshopper, then others will look at him as being one. Why should somebody view you any differently than you view yourself? You know, one of the greatest gifts we can give our children is the gift of self-esteem. But the Chassidic masters don't stop there. They take it one step further. And they say, why was it necessary for the spies to be concerned about how other people would view them? if a person knows what he or she is doing is correct, is that which God wants, then it should make no difference how the rest of the world will view them. We need to realize and recognize that people respect those who respect themselves. If people are proud of their Judaism, if people are willing to demonstrate their faith, even though it may seem strange to others around them, ultimately, they indeed will be respected by the rest of society. Does this thought deserve a hard-boiled egg? That I leave up to you. Will the understanding of why the spies thought that others viewed them as grasshoppers help pay your bills? I'm not sure. But what I do know is that if we recognize and realize that how we view ourselves will go a long way to how others will view us, is an important, profound idea when it comes to understanding the human psyche. And if I realize that the way I behave and the way I act, if I'm proud of my behavior, if I demonstrate my love and conviction to God in a very positive manner, then this will again go a long way to how I'm respected by the rest of society. And if I bear that in mind, then the story of the spies is crucial reading when it comes to making me a better human being. Thank you.